Alright everyone, I'm gonna try video number dos. Topic for today is bad drivers. I've lived in 8 cities or so across the US, East Coast, West Coast. All cities have bad drivers. In different ways. Seattle's are pretty bad. We have a lot of international drivers here, and that's not to say international drivers are bad, but their road ethics and laws are slightly different. And even though they live here, they don't always obey our laws or know about our road etiquette or anything like that. The biggest problem I have with drivers in Seattle is their inconsistency and their unwillingness to commit to something. Like if someone's gonna change lanes, sometimes they'll kind of get into the lane before they fully checked, and then they won't commit to changing the lane. Like even though they're in the lane, they'll sit there and block it, which annoys me. The non-committal thing is what bugs me the most. Is that people will start to change lanes and then be half in one lane, half in the other. Like once you're in a lane, you're in the lane. You've entered it. You should have checked before you started to go into the lane, and that just kind of bugs me a little bit. Like people sit there in your lane like, is it okay if I come over? Is it okay? You're in my lane. You're blocking me. Just get over. I generally try to be nice to people and let people merge in because I know how bad traffic can get around here. I mean, this is midday on a Saturday and it's already not the best. This bridge I'm about to cross over is the 99 bridge. That restaurant I just passed on the right back there, by the way, I don't know if you saw the video, the YouTube video of the guy on the supermoto, and they were like, sir, this is an entrance, you may not exit, and he just went, and went anyway. That was back there. It's Canalus is the name of the restaurant. Anyway, yeah, so this is 99 Bridge, the Aurora Bridge. It is notorious for having some of the narrowest lanes. You can see this guy in this SUV in front of me barely fits. Buses, when they cross, have to take up 2 lanes because it's so big. So I think when you take into account international drivers and bad road infrastructure, it just leads to a mess. There are a lot of accidents around Seattle, and when accidents happen, they compound traffic really bad, which makes more accidents, and it can get pretty rough around here. I know there are a lot of moto vloggers out there that hate bicyclists, and bicyclists hate motorcyclists, who hate cars, who hate pedestrians, who hate... It's a vicious cycle of hate. I hate everyone equally. As a pedestrian, I think my most hated group is cyclists. Seattle, unfortunately, doesn't have very good bicycling infrastructure. You'd think it would, being a big city and everything, but it really doesn't. So there aren't a ton of cyclists up here, but there are enough, and they all break the law. It's really annoying. They really want you to share the road with them, which I am perfectly happy to do, even as a car driver. But if you're gonna share the road with us, obey the law. It's pretty simple. I see so many cyclists not stop at stop signs, and they probably think, oh, well, you know, it's going to be easy to see a car. It's not the cars, per se, that are the big issue. And it's not just for their protection, it's for yours, cyclists. I cross at intersections a lot. I walk to work, and so many times cyclists will just come barreling down through a stop sign and not stop. Twice I've been knocked over by cyclists who didn't want to stop. The worst are couriers. Specifically, like, we have a restaurant here. Well, it's not a restaurant, it's like a fast food joint, and they serve cold subs, cold cuts, whatever you refer to them as, hoagies, depending on where you live. cold sandwiches, which are easy, fast to deliver. So they have a delivery service, and they're all on cyclists. Well, the problem is the cyclists obviously need to get fast. In fact, I believe their slogan is "Freaky Fast Delivery." So they have an incentive to be very fast, which also means they generally don't obey the law. And it's really annoying. Like I said earlier, with people driving not willing to commit to anything, pedestrians do the same thing. They'll hang out by the curb and make you think they're gonna leap out in the street. And you're like, oh, I guess they're not, so I'll go. And then they jump out in the street. Cars and people alike need to be predictable. And I just wish pedestrians would be. And they also think because they're pedestrians, they have ultimate right of way and they can do whatever the fuck they want. Mike C.O. One thing Seattle does have going for it around here is its bus system. You can pretty much get anywhere on a bus. I mean, I can go to a place over an hour away on a bus around here, and their metro bus is not like big tour buses or anything. The downside is they also have the same incentive as the before mentioned Jimmy John's bike couriers to be fast, which means they break the law. Now, I don't know if it's King County, the county that Seattle resides in, or Washington state law, but you legally have to let buses merge. Like, it is the law. And I'm fine with that. I let buses merge when they need to come in, because I know they have a lot more people in that one bus than I have in my car, so I let them go. However, sometimes I'll be right next to a bus and they'll just come over, and it is really annoying because on more than one occasion they have pushed me into the opposite direction of traffic. I don't know what they would have done had I not gone over. I'm assuming they would have just hit me, because I don't even know if they look. I just started riding with a GoPro, but I've been thinking about capturing a lot of bad driver moments and making a compilation of some sort. I really wish Washington would legalize lane splitting. I mean, look at that. I can fit down there. Get out of everyone's way. Be on my way. They actually had a bill up in Washington, but it didn't go through. Maybe I'll talk about that in another episode. Seattle, people really like to go under the speed limit, and I don't get it. Now, I'm not saying you should go racing up and down the highway, and there are so many Priuses, like this guy, look, commit, go, you got it, yeah, good job. What is this guy doing? You know, I was talking about having to gather a bunch of clips. I don't think I'm going to have to. I might just get a few today. It's not all bad though, guys. I don't mean to complain a lot. But the only time I really ever drive is when I need to do run an errand, or if it's for pleasure, and that's when I have to interact with everyone who is not so great at it. But it's alright. Alright guys, that's gonna wrap up episode dos. I will see you next time. Peace. What the fuck?